As the title of the video says, this is going to be a video to be talking about Chen. This is the last time that I ever want to mention about her, and the reason why I'm making a video like this is because people are looking for a bit of a resolution from the previous time that I ever talked about the Chen controversy. It's not a video that I'm very eager to make, but I feel like it's important to give closure to it since we are already going to experience Chen entering Arknights Global soon, and I guess it will be good to at least update, how is Arknights CN feeling towards the entire situation, how is Arknights Global reacting, and how should we be behaving from here on. So it's going to be a bit of an opinion video where I do a little bit of rambling, but don't worry, I have the points written down here as to the things that I want to say in today's video. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, in the past when this Dossoles Holiday event was first dropped in Arknights CN, it was a little bit of a controversial event because there were a lot of players who weren't too happy with how the event was like. To summarize it in a quick way, the few of the pointers that people weren't too happy about were things like how the operator, the limited operator herself, that is Chen, didn't look too good for some people, and the original design of her had a bit of a issue where she started looking like another operator that was Blaze. She didn't have an expression that exactly says that it's herself. The lore of the operator isn't as entertaining as some of the other operators, because it's a little strange how an operator got a water gun that is apparently way more powerful than her own sword. That's just odd. It's like, what's all this physical training for if she's gonna use a water gun in a sense? There's a few other problems like how the event was a little bit off in the timing of its release. No one expected it in Arknights CN. Many people got surprised when they released a summer event and it turns out there's a new limited operator. The pace of the events were a little bad, like the events before it were all mini story events, just like how we got preluding lights, then we got interlocking competition, very small events that felt more like date weeks instead of actual fully flash events. There were a lot of problems with the Chen situation. If you want a full detail as to what happened and why Arknights CN was a little unhappy, you can watch one of my most watched videos. I gotta say, I hate that this video that I'm showing on the screen right now is my most watched video because it's a little bad. It's like a drama or controversy becoming my most watched things. I feel like that's how YouTube is nowadays, right? Content talking about bad situations, drama tends to generate more views. It's not my thing. I'm not the kind of person that likes to stir drama with anyone. I like to be happy and entertaining. I think there should be more positivity in this world than negativity. So it's a pity. If you guys want to help me out and make my next most watched video as number one, please do. My next most watched video is the Arknights Beginner's Guide. It's a wonderful video for those of you who are starting to play the game. Help me bump that video up so that it's even more viewed than this Chen video. So that's that if you want the details of the event. It definitely was one of the darkest times for Arknights, considering how there's a lot of online riots that happen and so many people are unhappy about it. But anyways, recap done. Let's answer a few questions that you guys want to know about. So a question that I hear quite often is, how is Arknights CN feeling after this whole event has transpired for a few months? Chen dropped in Arknights CN about, say, 5 to 6 months ago. And if I look at the way the Arknights CN is now, well, it's kind of tamed down. No one really talks about it anymore. People are generally okay with how things are. For the people who are unhappy back then, there's two things that could have possibly happened to them. Number one, they either got so unhappy that they left the game, or number two, they stayed in the game and they felt that they should give a second chance to Hypergryph to prove themselves again to do a better job at coordinating their limited events and, flashing out all the game updates from here on. The No Outer event that came after the Chen one was definitely much more better executed. So that kind of saved the situation and got people that sort of impression that Hypergryph is really working hard in improving the situations. But I wouldn't say that it's a full improvements. There were still changes that players are looking out for. Things like hoping for the spark system to change, introducing some new ways of gacha pools so that people have an easier time with limited operators. There's still quite a bit of requests, but generally speaking, Arknights CN is pretty much tamed down and okay with it. There isn't really too much of a trouble going on. People are just looking out for what are the next big updates that Hypergryphs are going to do that really change up the game to be one of the bestest games that you can find in the entire world. So there's that to answer how Arknights CN is feeling. Now, there's an important question that I wish to answer. That is, why did Arknights CN choose to do Dossoles Holiday in such a weird timing? It was all so sudden. There was zero expectation of anyone seeing it coming, and let alone be a limited event. And now that we received Dossoles Holiday as our anniversary event, this is all hypothetical. It's all in a guess. There's no way to confirm what I'm saying. I would say that the reason why Arknights CN chose to release Dossoles Holiday is because this event was made in such a rush manner so that there is something safe for Arknights EN. So there might have been a decision between Hypergryph and Yostar as to how they plan to coordinate anniversary for us in EN. If you remember back in the first anniversary, they made sure that the first anniversary event for Arknights CN is the exact same first anniversary event that EN also experienced, which is the one that had W as the limited operator and WD as the other 6-star. So we got that at like the same time frame of anniversary, but it caused quite a bit of mess up in the EN schedule, where we had events such as the Twilight of Volomoding event and the Children of Ursus event shifted forward when it's supposed to come after the W event. So that caused quite a bit of a hassle that goes on there. It got a lot of people confused as to what is the schedule like for EN, since most of the time people thought that we were going to follow in pace with CN. That was the arrangement previously, but I suppose now, considering that Arknights EN is actually having a very hard time to chase with Arknights CN, I will make a future video. It's not going to be anytime soon. I think it's going to be weeks later from now, about how Arknights EN is actually never going to catch up with Arknights CN. I have evidence to state that, or at least things that at least supports this theory that it's not going to happen, and I'm very, very strongly believing of it that we will probably maintain a 6 months gap with CN. Hypergryph and Yostar probably realized that, and with that, they then wanted to make this decision of then how are they supposed to arrange future anniversaries and all of the other limited operator events. They then probably saw that there is a huge opportunity here. If they manage the gap between CN and EN, what they could have done was to then push forward the CN anniversary event earlier for EN, and then afterwards they launch another limited event after their anniversary to make that limited event the EN anniversary event. To help you visualize what I'm trying to say, if you notice, Arknights CN anniversary was under tights, but we got it as a autumn Thanksgiving event in October, 3 months earlier from our anniversary. Then, afterwards, Summer Dossoles Holiday happened 3 months later after the CN anniversary. That event became our anniversary, which is also 3 months after the Under Tights event. So it's come to a point where what I think is most likely going to happen, not just for this year, I actually think this is going to happen for every single year from here on, that now all of the summer events that CN is going to experience, because it seems like summer theme is going to stay, all the summer events are very likely to become our anniversary events. All the CN anniversary events would probably become the autumn Halloween event for us in EN. Then all the events get shifted forward as well. For example, the Near Light event that is CN's half anniversary, it becomes another Thanksgiving event for us. And then afterwards, the Chinese New Year event that CN is about to experience with some new limited 6-star operator appearing, that one will then become our half anniversary event. So there's always going to be this 3 months, 6 months shift of all of these events that occur. That's why whenever there's a new event in CN, often people will say to EN players, just add by 6 months and you will know when it will release. For example, CN is experiencing integrated strategies now, right? So we're probably going to experience the integrated strategies again 6 months from now, either in June or July. With that understanding that Dossoles Holiday was probably so rushed in CN so that we have a proper anniversary event to celebrate, I gotta say, it was a very tough decision for Hypergryph if you think about it, because they needed to figure out how to accommodate for both the CN's feelings and the EN's feelings. And clearly CN isn't happy about it because it was just so unexpected. But for us in EN, now we get to enjoy a very dedicated anniversary event. If you haven't realized, this event is huge. There's a lot of rewards. This video isn't going to be compiling all of the rewards, but I can preamble you with a future video I'm about to make that we're getting like more than 1 million LMD out of this event. We're getting like hundreds over of EXP tickets, hundreds over of skill summaries, a lot of tier 5, tier 4, tier 3 materials, more than 50 free pools from this event. It's all jumbled in this one mega occasion for us to celebrate. And I think that's amazing that they actually put so much effort in this. To me, this was just really a tough decision that Hypergryph made. And now at least you guys get to understand why they actually did it and how they had to face this whole ruckus that occurred in the CN community. Now, because of the ruckus in the CN community, now this brings us to the next problem at hand. So CN is CN, EN is another side of things. EN community saw what happened in the CN community, and it led to a problem where people started hating on Chen Outer. I'm referring to all of you watching the video. Some of you may hate Chen Outer, some of you may actually love Chen Outer. Now, the question that I want to put for those of you who hate Chen Outer is that, what about Chen Outer are you not exactly liking? Because I know there are definitely points that are very valid. For instance, there are people who hate Chen Outer because they feel that it's very unnecessary for a limiter operator to be so busted. Chen Outer is probably the first limiter operator where people find the skill set to be so powerful that it's just a little unnecessary that it's placed on a limiter operator. It raises that level of FOMO, the fear of missing out. It's like as if you really need to get this operator to make your game like an even better experience. I mean, in fact, in Arknights, you don't need any 6 stars, but I understand the feeling of how this limiter operator kind of raised that status and give people that very uncomfortable feeling. That's one of the reasons that people don't like her. The other reasons that people don't like her in the EN side is things like not lore accurate. People feel that Chen Outer may not have a good enough lore, or they just don't like the fact that Chen Outer has a water gun. And I understand all of these sort of views that gets people to not like her, but yet at the same time, there are other people who kind of don't like her because they got that sort of influence. It's like, hey, the CN players hate it, so I hate it too. If you're one of those crews that you don't really have a strong good reason as to why you're not liking Chen Outer, then you may want to reconsider on that. And if I were to address the other side of the people, where they are the people who love Chen Outer, they really like her kid, they really like how she looks, I think that's fine, you do you. If you like the fact that she's super strong, super meta, or you just like the fact that she's some bikini operator that suddenly appeared out of nowhere, yeah, it's perfectly fine. Because this is your own game, there's no PvP, everyone just makes their own experience. You do what you want to do. And that's exactly the thing that I want to put as like a public service announcement, like a very important thing to talk about in this video, which is whether you hate Chen Outer or you love Chen Outer, please don't fight over this. Like, it's very pointless. If you don't like Chen Outer and you don't want to pull Chen Outer because you feel you have very strong reasons for it, then do what you want. Don't go on the internet and tell other people that they shouldn't pull Chen Outer, or you shit on other people because they pull Chen Outer. Like, there's no point. It's their game don't affect yours, your game don't affect theirs. Your opinion can influence some other people, but at the end of the day, it's not all too important because you create your own adventure in the game. And that's the same for those of you who love Chen Outer as well. If you love Chen Outer, don't crap on the people who don't pull Chen Outer and don't want to pull her. It's their own game. Like I said, you all need to have that sort of respect for each other in the community. People have things that they want, people have things that they don't want, and I think that's perfectly fine. It is the way of life. All of us are different in nature. So be open-minded about it. Be fine that there are people out there who don't want to pull an operator that, you know, they find to be too meta and not suitable for them. Be fine if you see people who pull an operator that you think is disgustingly strong. You might feel that the person is a meta slave and whatnot, but honestly, does it even matter? It doesn't. It's just their own game. Do you get with your own life? That's all that I want to put to it for this particular part. The final thing that I want to talk about in this video is the fact that Hypergryph and Yostar, Hypergryph being the developer of the game, Yostar being the publisher for us in Arknights Global and also Arknights JP, they are all working very hard to make this game a wonderful one for everyone. Chen Outer may have been a bit of an experimental phase where they're figuring out how to make things balance in all of their communities and servers. And they may not have done it perfectly and nicely, but look at how we're experiencing the event in Arknights Global right now. Look at how much effort they're putting in just as a pre-anniversary event. We haven't even got all the event details yet. And all of a sudden, we're thrown with so much free goodies, so much storyline, all prepared for us to enjoy this event to the fullest. So to me, I think people need to give more credit where it's due, that this event is honestly going to be an amazing one. It's supposed to be a happy time. It's supposed to be a joyous occasion. If you thought of like, you know, you don't want to spend any money in this event so that you can boycott the company, send a message and tell them, get their shit together and do something about it. Please. Hypergryph knows that when this was done on the CN community, they probably screwed up. They made a lot of people angry. They caused a whole damn online riot in their online forums. But they are trying their best to work to it. And it's gonna take time. They take a lot of time to improve on their stuff. when we first had integrated strategies, that's like a year ago, it's been a long time. It took them 1.5 years to recreate the entire integrated strategies, or basically fungi maze, and launch a second season to build it into a permanent game mode that all of us can enjoy any time of the day, train ourselves, get a better brain within the game, make ourselves better doctors of Arknights. And I love that they took so much effort to refine it and polish it to be the brilliant game mode that it is right now in Arknights CN. I still can't wait for the event to drop in June and July for us, but that's such a long wait. Anyways, back to this. So, they are working hard. They might take a long time to improve the limited operator system. So, let me just share a quick story that Arknights held a fan meeting event in China during the end year. They invited a lot of the Arknights Chinese content creators into the event, and during that point in time, they shared about the company milestones and all the journey. At a certain point of that event, some of the content creators privately spoke to them, and they had this conversation about, how is Hypergryph going to improve on things, and especially the limited operator, because they asked whether they are aware of Chen Outer and are they going to do anything about it, which the developers that they spoke to had mentioned to them that they are aware and they are trying their best to work for something that can make people even more happier than they are. And I think that's amazing that they have that dedication to the players to make this game a brilliant and amazing one. So give them time. It might take the next Chinese New Year stream that Arknights CN is going to enjoy in some point in time. It may take their 3rd anniversary till things get really fixed, but they are exploring, they're going to figure things out. Soon we might see new systems that can help both free-to-play and pay-to-play enjoy the limited operators better. IS isn't just the end of all of the game modes they're going to add. They have plans to bring back the co-op game mode that some of you actually enjoy to play. They have plans to make a better interlocking competition for everyone to play. They are going to be introducing new storylines. They're going to bring us to new places in Arknights. They just brought everyone to Silver Ash family in the recent Break the Ice event in Arknights CN. Soon we're going to experience even more of the factions of the Terra world. So to me, I'm just extremely appreciative that Arknights is just working so hard to give us a stellar, what I would even call as a AAA title. It's not AAA like the rest of the true Steam computer games where they have high-end graphics, high-end action and all that kind of thing. But in terms of the quality of the gameplay, in terms of the experience you get, in terms of the community you get to enjoy over here, this game is amazing. It's literally a gold standard gacha game that I wish more people know of, more people come in and enjoy to the fullest. So really, about Chen Outer, please, enjoy it, be happy. This is not the time to be angry at all. This is the time to celebrate the fact that we have gone through 2 years of Arknights. Happy birthday to Arknights, and to all of you, see you in the next few videos of mine. Alright, enjoy your time. Bye bye.